Buying a home is one of the biggest investments you'll ever make and certainly a major financial decision. So why wouldn't you want an experienced attorney on your side when negotiating the buying or selling of your home? One of Colorado's best attorneys can help. Michael Suchoparek from the Fast Filers is here to tell us more. I'm sure a lot of people have seen you on this show before.
I'm sure
we're always talking about bankruptcy or your credit score, and
Mm-hmm.
now we're talking about buying and selling homes. Why do you do this?
Well, we've had lots of clients in the past, and one of the big misconceptions about bankruptcy is that you'll never get credit again, you'll never qualify for a house again.
Yeah.
And that's very much not true. Where people have surrendered or handed back a house in a prior bankruptcy have recently have called me up and say, hey, I'm looking to buy a house, where's the best way to go about it? Mm-hmm. And we started, for our past and current clients, have been doing real estate brokerage side of things, helping them purchase the right house for them and helping them save a lot of money in the process.
Yeah, that's great. So I have to admit, I wouldn't go to an attorney to buy or sell a home. That wouldn't be my first inclination. So how can your experience really lend itself to this situation?
Well, I am a real estate broker as well.
Okay.
And the experience I have, for instance, the very first line of any real estate contract in Colorado is, how do you want to take possession of this property? By tenancy, by the entirety, or by joint tenancy? Mm-hmm. That question is glossed over by many brokers out there, but it has serious ramifications if, in fact, that client ever goes into probate or has to file a bankruptcy in the future. A lot of times they've kicked themselves for how they took possession of that property on the very outset. And things like that through the contract is something that an experienced, trained attorney understands what the ramifications of those terms are.
Now, I was reading through your website and found some just interesting information that a lot of real estate brokers practice law when it comes to the buying or selling of a home,
Yeah.
and they don't have a law degree.
You know, and this was well-settled law about 50 years ago. The Colorado Supreme Court has allowed people without a legal education
Mm-hmm.
to put people into probably one of the most important financial decisions of their life. So for around the real estate transaction, real estate brokers are allowed to practice limited law. And it's kind of frustrating because I've seen a lot of things come through my desk as a practicing attorney where you're like, what was this person thinking? It's because they don't have the education nor the experience drafting contracts or making sure that the thing's done correctly on the front end to make sure that saves a lot of problems down the road.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to talk about your flat fee. You charge a flat fee when it comes to the real estate service. What does that mean?
Well, when you buy a house, most sellers, they allot 3% for commissions.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is I rebate a portion of those commissions back to the client so they have actual cash in their pocket at closing.
Okay.
So if you're, in fact, you're buying a $400,000 house, what I do is after our flat rate, I rebate $5,500 back to the buyer.
Nice.
And they can remodel, landscape, buy furniture, whatever, all the expenses come up with buying a new house that there are. They have that actually in their pocket. And a lot of people ask me, well, why would I even hire a buyer's agent and have to pay anything? Because if you don't, what happens is the seller's agent gets to keep everything. If you're not a licensed real estate broker, you're not allowed to cash out any commissions. And what I can do is I can rebate those commissions to the buyers. And if you're a seller, if you're selling a house, what we do is we have a flat rate commission. And that's just more net profit in your pocket after the sale of that house.
So we were talking about this. If somebody comes to you, they've already done their research online, they know exactly what house they want to buy, then you jump in and take care of all the
And I would say it's
work
probably
and the contract.
90% of the people these days that come to
Absolutely.
me, they've done their research. I mean, with how prevalent the internet is in every household, they come to me with 2 or 3 houses they're interested in. We open them up the doors, we walk them through, they figure out if it's the house for them, and what we do is we draft a very solid contract and get it under contract to make sure that purchase goes through smoothly.
Now, the bottom line is different for everybody, but how much can you typically save someone with this flat fee?
Well, it just depends. I mean, there's really no difference if you're buying a $300,000 house or a $1 million house. The work that you do is pretty much the same. So what we're trying to do is turn the status quo on the commission rates upside down and actually save people in the process. And that's what our clients have loved that we've done for them, my law clients, and we're just expanding that now to the general public.
So we mentioned people that come to you with a house. What if they want the full service? You also offer that as well.
Yeah, we definitely offer that, the Cadillac service, which is driving around on a Saturday afternoon looking at a myriad of different houses. But, I would say a majority of the people that come to me have 2 or 3 houses in mind. And what we do is we walk them through, they figure out which one they like, we get an offer on the table, we get the thing under contract, we get them into the house that they choose.
Okay, so what can people do if they want more information? I was on your website. What's the first step that they take?
The first step, obviously I'm here today, but what you can do is you can call this number and my assistant will take a message. I'll give you a call back. We offer free consultations and letting the folks understand what they're getting as an added benefit, because I'm not only a real estate broker, I'm also a licensed attorney. And that is something I'm bringing to the table that most other real estate brokers can't.
Do you have any particular client or story in mind where your background really helped in the long run?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, that very first question on the real estate contract, how to take possession of that property, joint tenancy or tenancy by the entirety. And unfortunately, one of the spouses actually passed away. And because of the fact that contract was done correctly, that did not cause as many problems in the probate estate than necessarily would have otherwise. And it's a question that I see realtors gloss over constantly.
Really?
And there's a lot of serious ramifications of every check mark in that contract that's done, and you want to make sure it's done correctly.
Okay, and here's an added question. If someone wants to sell their home sold by owner, can you jump in and take care of the legal work?
Yeah, we absolutely can. And what we do is we charge a flat rate fee for that. And you definitely want to use a broker. I mean, especially if you're buying a house, you do not save anything by not using a real estate broker. The seller pays the commissions. And if you have a real estate broker, what I do is I rebate a majority of that commission back to the buyer.
Okay, let's remind viewers one more time before we give them your information. How much is that flat fee? About how much are they going to save?
Yeah, so it just depends on the purchase of the price because it's the flat fee is $5,000 for purchasing, $1,700 for listing a property on the MLS, and then depending on the a la carte service they want thereafter, we charge a little bit more. But the other main goal is that they have the experience behind that broker to make sure they put in a very savvy situation.
Okay, so you take care of it all. You
Yeah.
sell and buy homes.
We
You
do.
take care of bankruptcy.
And unfortunately, when
you help
things go
people with their credit
south
scores.
and they want to get rid of a house, we can do that through a bankruptcy. But when the times are, people that have handed back a house through a bankruptcy now are qualifying for FHA financing, and they're back out in the market looking for the right house for them. And that's something that kind of fell in our lap, and we've definitely had great success with my former and past clients
Right.
in the past doing this.
You do it all. You do it all.
That we do.
So to reach Michael at the Fast Filers and learn more about his flat fee real estate services, call 720-445-9137, and you can also learn more online at propertylawbroker.com. Coming up on Colorado's Best, look younger in less than 30 minutes. We'll